The Sorcerers Letterbox, my second novel for children, was published in 2004 and is largely based on the story of the Princes in the Tower. This is the very famous story of the boy king Edward V and his younger brother Richard, Duke of York, who vanished in the Tower of London in 1483, while their uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, became the new king as King Richard III. When Edward V became king, he was only 12 years old, so his chances of survival in those turbulent times after the Wars of the Roses were probably slim at best. His uncle was now his official guardian and had the young king confined to the Tower of London, where he was soon joined by his younger brother. The two boys were seen playing in the grounds of the castle throughout the summer months, but after the beginning of September they were never seen again. They vanished off the face of the earth, and everyone assumed that their uncle, who had assumed the throne as King Richard III, had had the boys murdered. But there were no bodies and no proof, and so no one could actually say anything one way or the other. However, about 200 years after they disappeared, in the year 1674, some workmen were doing some renovation work on the tower, and under a staircase, buried under 10 feet of heavy stones, they found a large trunk. And to their amazement, when they opened the trunk, they found two small skeletons inside. At the time, it was declared that these were indeed the bones of the princes in the tower. The bones were taken from the castle and given a proper burial in Westminster Abbey, and the bones placed in a tomb where they reside to this day. However, in 1933, the tomb was actually opened and the bones were examined by police forensic scientists. They had laid out the bones in a crime lab and had determined that they had the skeletons of two children. They estimated that one was between the ages of 8 and 11 and one was between the ages of 10 and 14. Edward V was 12, almost 13 when he disappeared, and his brother was 10, so the ages did match. Both skulls had similar dental structure, which showed there was possibly a family link between the two. And also one skull showed evidence of a painful swelling in the lower jaw, the sort of thing that today would send you to have a root canal or dental surgery or something like that. This sort of medical expertise, of course, did not exist in 1483, but Edward V was being treated for a problem with his jaw when he was in the tower, another clue that these skeletons may indeed have been the boys. More gruesome was the fact that one skull had a brown stain on the cheekbone, and although there was no DNA testing in 1933, the examiners thought this was probably a blood stain on the bone caused by the blood vessels in the cheek bursting open when pressure was put on someone's face as they were suffocated to death with a pillow or something like that, which is rumoured to be how the boys were disposed of. So the skeletons probably do belong to the two boys who disappeared, although there is still no proof, and the story of the princes in the tower remains one of the greatest mysteries of history. But it certainly served as a major influence on my writing of the Sorcerers Letterbox. On my website you will find pages devoted to the history behind the book, on the Tower of London, on the princes themselves, on the reign of Richard III, and other things to do with that particular time at the end of the medieval time period. And of course my book is available in bookstores everywhere, and also available from myself. So thanks for listening, and I hope you'll visit my website to find out more information about the Sorcerers Letterbox.